Welcome to today's chair yoga practice. So find your favorite yoga chair, something that you can move around in, something that doesn't have arm rests. And we're just going to start out seated. Find a place where your feet can be flat on the floor, your hips feel nice and supported. And we'll begin with a little breath. So just bring one hand to your belly and the other hand to your chest. You can close your eyes here and take a couple of breaths. Just bringing your attention, focusing your mind in your body here, giving yourself permission to just check in, to just notice your body right here. As we go through the practice, I'll give you some direction about your breathing, but as always, you breathe however you need. Don't get caught on the breathing instructions. And then I'm going to have you open your eyes and bring your hands to your legs. Now, I said that about the breathing. We're going to start with a little breathing practice. I want you to bring your hands out to your knees to start. When you inhale, you're going to drag your hands along the outsides of your legs, squeezing your shoulder blades together, lifting through your chest. And then when you exhale, bring your hands down the insides of your legs, round your back, pulling that belly button in. So you can go as fast or as slow as you want, but this is actually a little breath practice to build some heat. So if you can, nice strong breath in, nice strong breath out. I'm going to go a little faster. Maybe two more. Feel those shoulders moving. One more time. And then just take a free breath. If you start to get a little dizzy there, just give yourself a minute. Kind of let your heart rate relax, let your breathing relax. And then we're going to move the shoulders just a little bit. Arms can be wherever you like. Just squeeze your shoulders toward your ears and then roll your shoulders back and down. Do that a couple of times. Maybe listen to all the crunching through your shoulders. I've got a lot today. All right, now your shoulders get to relax. We're going to move our attention down to the legs already. So what I want you to do is just stretch one leg out in front of you. It doesn't matter which one. You're just going to point your toes here and then flex your foot. Go back and forth a couple of times. Little point and flex. Again, like that, point and flex. Maybe one more time. Point and flex. And then set that foot flat onto the floor. We're going to do the other side. So again, simple movement, just pointing your toes and then flexing your foot. Now, as you're doing this, notice your calf muscles, your shin muscles, just kind of waking those things up. We're going to do one more little point and flex. All right, and then you're going to stretch both legs out in front of you. Your knees do not have to be perfectly straight here. What I do want you to do is press out through your heels, and then we're going to focus on the spine and the shoulders a little bit. So hands are on your legs. I want you to fold forward just as far as it feels good. You can reach towards your feet, rounding your back as you go. And then when you inhale, I just want you to lift through your chest, flattening your spine that little bit. So on your exhale, pulling your belly button in, rounding your back. On your inhale, lift through your chest, pulling your shoulder blades back and down. Do this a couple more times. Say hi to the cat. Maybe one more time. It doesn't matter how far you go forward. Really just focusing on those shoulders. And then you're going to slowly sit all the way up. Take your time. As you come up to sitting, if the room is spinning, give yourself a minute. If the cat is needy, give him another pet. All right. So now bring your feet close together, your knees close together. Hands are on the outsides of your leg. We're going to focus on the hips a little bit. So when you inhale, you're just opening your knees wide away from each other. You can press a little bit with your hands. Give yourself some resistance. And then hands on the insides of your knees. You're going to squeeze those knees together through the resistance. So just go back and forth a couple of times. If you like, you can get your spine engaged. So when your knees go wide, you're lifting through your chest, squeezing those shoulder blades together. And then when you bring your knees together, pull your belly button in. You can round your back. So do this a couple more times. Make this movement as big or as small as it feels useful. Just paying attention. I'm going to do one more, opening wide, arching the back, and then knees together, pulling that belly button in, rounding your spine. All right, and then sit up tall again. So now I'm going to have you put your feet flat on the floor. Bend your knees a little bit so your heels are closer to the chair, so you can kind of have a little leverage here. We're going to start with a small movement. Your hips stay on the chair. You're just going to reach your arms out in front of you, reaching forward that little bit. And then when you inhale, pull your elbows back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. So exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, pulling back. We're going to do two more, just like that. Maybe feel your shoulders working here. Okay, one more. All right, now we're going to make this a little bit bigger. Feet stay where they are. You want to try and find a spot your heels can press into the floor. This time when you exhale, you're reaching forward, tip forward. See if you can lift your hips just a little bit. And then when you inhale, tip back. So your hips are on the chair, pulling your elbows back. So exhale, reaching forward, tipping forward. Inhale, pulling back. I'm going to do two more. Okay, one more time. Shouldn't be too much work. It's just kind of shifting forward and back. Now take a breath. Check in with your body. You can do exactly that same movement we just did, or you can make it a little bit bigger. So the bigger movement is you're reaching forward, straightening your legs as you come up, clenching those glutes. And then you're going to reach forward, bend at your hips, sit back onto your chair. It helps if your chair is really stable. You don't need wheels on yours like I have. All right. So now that I told you that after we did that crazy movement, decide if you want to do it again. So reaching forward, straightening your legs, clenching those glutes, and then sit back, bending your hips, sitting back onto the chair. If you can, two more, reaching forward, shifting forward, straightening your legs, clenching those butt cheeks, and then you can relax your butt cheeks, reach forward, sitting back. Maybe one more. Reaching forward, standing all the way up. Now take a breath. If you haven't already, I'm going to have you stand all the way up, and then you're going to turn to face the seat of your chair. All right? So give yourself a little space between your feet and the chair. Hands come to the seat of your chair. Your knees are bent just a little bit. And what we're going to do is move the spine here. So try and keep your weight down through your feet. You're not leaning into your hands too much. On your exhale, you're going to pull that belly button in, rounding your spine, squeeze your shoulders towards your ears here. And then when you inhale, flatten your back, lifting through your chest. Think about pulling your shoulder blades back and down. Go back and forth just a couple times. Inhale, lifting through your chest. Again. Maybe one more. Just find that movement along your spine, your shoulders. All right, now keep your knees bent slowly. Stand all the way up. I want you to take your time standing all the way up. And then you can have your chair nearby, or you can stand behind your chair for a little balance point if you're feeling a little wobbly. We're going to do a little balance work here. Start by just feeling both feet nice and solid into the floor. If you're holding the back of your chair, I can have an invisible chair here. Your hands can just rest on the back of the chair. We're going to start really small. You're just shifting your weight to the right, so the weight of your body is going down through that right foot. And then you're going to come back so both feet are pressing evenly into the floor. And then shift over to the other side. And then come back. Breathe however you want. We'll do it again. Just that little shift to the right. And then come back. Both feet are flat. Shifting to the left. And then coming back. Now we can make it a little bit bigger. Shift your weight to the right, lifting your left heel as you go. And then come back so both feet are flat. And then we'll shift left, lifting that right heel. And then come back so both feet are flat. If you can, again like that, shifting right, lifting that left heel. Come back, both feet are flat. And then shifting to the other side. And then come back. Now take a breath. Feel both feet on the floor. If you want, you can make this move a little bit bigger. Same movement with the feet. We're just going to add moving an arm. So you're shifting to the right, lift your left heel, lift your left arm. And then when you exhale, come back to the center. Arm comes down, feet are flat. And then to the other side. And come back so both feet are flat. Now, try not to get too excited. You don't want to go too fast here. The goal is to have that control as you shift from side to side. When you feel even, like you've shifted to both sides equally, stay here in the center, maybe roll your shoulders a little bit, check in with your body. All right, so again, you can choose how you want to use your arms. If you want to have your hands on the back of your chair for stability, you can. We're going to make the foot movement a little bit bigger. So you choose what you want to do with your arms. You're going to shift your weight to the right. See if you can lift that left heel, maybe lift your left toes away from the floor out to the side. And then you're going to come back so both feet are flat. And then we'll go to the other side. Shifting, lifting your heel and your toes. And then come back. Again, you can have that balance point with your hands, but you got to pull your belly button in. Think tall. Try not to run into stuff. I'm going to do one more. When you feel even, like you've gone to both sides equally, let your arms relax. Let your legs relax. Take a breath. Now I want you to step your feet as close together as it feels stable for you. If having your big toes or your bunions touch each other makes you really wobbly, give yourself a little space here. If you're feeling kind of frisky today and you want to challenge yourself, you can bring your right foot in front of your left foot, just like you're on a balance beam. Now the goal here is that you're pressing both feet evenly into the floor, whatever position they're in, you're nice and stable. Okay, knees can be unlocked, belly button's pulling in, think tall. While you're pressing both feet into the floor, it's already balanced, right? See if you can raise your right arm toward the ceiling. If you're holding the seat of your, or the back of your chair, you can hold the back of your chair. Now what I want you to do is just lean to the left a little bit. Feel that stretch down your rib cage, pulling your belly button in as you exhale. Keep your feet pressing into the floor. If you can make it a little bit bigger, you can even push your hips to the right as you reach left, someplace you can breathe. And then let your arm come down. Make space between your feet. Before we do the other side, if you're at the back of your chair, hold the back of your chair, whatever works for you. You're just going to bend forward. Feet are even with each other. Push your hips back. Try not to hit your head on your chair. All right. Now bend both knees. You're going to stand all the way up and check in. If you're feeling dizzy at all, give yourself another minute. All right. And then we're going to balance. Now that I've made you dizzy, see if you can bring that left foot in front of your right foot here. So your feet are lined up like you're on a balance beam. Feel both feet pressing evenly into the floor. Big toes are pressing down. Try and unlock your knees. So your knees are bent just a little bit. Belly button's pulling in. Think up. All right. Once you feel stable, even if you're holding onto your chair, that's okay. You can bring that left arm alongside your head. Keep your feet pressing into the floor. And then just lean your torso to the right a little bit. Feel that stretch down your rib cage. Keep pulling that belly button in. Maybe push your hips left as you reach right. Take another breath. All right, then arm comes down. Step your feet away from each other, holding your chair wherever. You're just going to bend at the hips, kind of push your hips back so you can stretch the backs of your legs here. We're going to hang out for just a second. So keep pushing your hips back. See if you can bend your right knee a little bit more. Really push back through that left butt cheek. And then we're going to switch. Bend your left knee. Push that right butt cheek straight back. Now bend both knees slowly, slowly. Stand all the way up. And then good news. You get to have a seat in your chair. All right, once you come back to your chair, give yourself a minute, take a moment and notice your legs, notice your feet. We did a lot of work in the feet today. So we're going to do a little self-massage today. Bring your hands to your hips, wherever you can reach, and just rub big circles around your hips here. Think nice thoughts for your hips. They do a lot of work. And then bring your hands to your thighs and gently squeeze down the tops of your thighs all the way to your knees. When you get to your kneecaps, do circles around your kneecaps. Again, just think nice thoughts. Now squeeze your hands down the outsides of your calves toward your feet. Just go as far forward as you can. And then squeeze back up the insides of your legs. When you get to your knees again, give them another little rub. Nice thoughts. And then squeeze all the way up your thighs to your hips. Give your hips another little rub. And then sit up tall. You're going to take one hand and reach across to the opposite side of your waist. Try and find the edge of your rib cage. It's in there. I know it is. So gently drag your fingers underneath your rib cage, stopping just at that center spot, just above your belly button. Do it again. Reach across, dragging. You don't have to leave a mark, so just be gentle. We're going to do one more time on that same side. Drag into the center spot, and then we'll do the opposite. So opposite hand reaches across. Try and find that spot underneath your rib cage, dragging your fingers, just stopping at the center spot. Again, like that, reaching across, dragging to the center. One more time. Now, as you come back to the center, I want you to rub big circles around your belly button, like clockwise. If you were looking down, it would be clockwise around your belly button. Think nice thoughts for your digestion. And then you're going to bring your hands to your chest. Gently tap across the top of your chest. Just imagine you're breaking up any congestion, making some space in there, maybe just relaxing those muscles across your chest. And then you're going to take one hand across to the opposite side of your neck and gently massage the side of your neck. Try and use your hand like a mitten. So you're just squeezing your fingers and your palm together all the way across the top of your shoulders. And then when you get to that shoulder joint, give it a little rub and then squeeze down your arm. Try and get as much of that arm in your squeeze as you can. Squeezing all the way down to your wrist and then rub your hands together. All right, now we're going to do the other side. So bring that opposite hand across your body to your neck. Again, using your hand like a mitten. You're gently squeezing down the side of your neck, across the top of your shoulder. Most people could stay here all day. So if you want, you can. When you get to that shoulder joint though, see if you can give it a little rub. Good thoughts. And then squeeze down your arm, getting as much of those muscles in your squeeze as you can. Squeezing all the way down to your wrist, out to your fingertips, and then rub your hands together. Now, once you get a little heat in your hands, you're going to take your hands and cup them over your eyes. You don't have to touch your face, but just find a spot where you can feel the heat from your hands sink into the space around your eyes. Keep your hands over your eyes. Squeeze your eyes tightly shut. Keep your hands over your eyes. Blink your eyelids open and closed a few times. And then leave your eyelids open. Slowly peek open your fingers. Maybe bring your fingers across to your temples. Give your temples a little rub. And you can even tap the top of your head here to wake your brain up if you need that. Maybe give yourself a little pat on the back. Appreciate this time, this effort you made. Maybe notice how your body feels after the work that you've done. Thank you so much for playing. Namaste.